Powerlifting is a sport composed by three main disciplines called lifts. They are in order: squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt
to start the lift.
There are 3 referees, and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command, and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
Hello and welcome back for the final session of the IPF World Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, the heart of Transylvania. I'm Amelia Potter and thank you for sticking with me all week. We have for you in this session the 120 and 120 plus sub-juniors in the first flight, followed by the second flight of the 120 plus kilo junior class. We have some big numbers on the board for you today. We just saw the 120 juniors break the total record 5 times over the course of the session. And we head into the first flight now. Just a reminder, all the sub-juniors will go first, and the junior 120 plus will be second. $160 kilos on the bar for Abel Shekers of Hungary. $15 old. He's only been competing for 1 year. That looked nice and easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Naoto Uchi of Japan, 175 kilos. 17 years old, has only been competing for 1 year. That was nice and easy for Naoto. 3 white lights, a good lift. 202.5 kilos for Romeo Fernandez of Mexico. This is his last year as a sub-junior before heading into the juniors next year. Two to one, a good lift. Gets a blue from the center referee. Just looking here what that could have been for. I think it was because the bar bounced on his back, but the bar didn't move down as a fault of the lifter rather than speed of the bar. So I think he'll be okay there. 217.5 kilos for Odysseus Markou of Greece. I think it's the first Greek athlete I've seen so far. Three white lights, that is a good lift. We now have Jesse Mietinen of Finland, 235 kilos. And that was nice and quick. Three white lights, a good lift. Pavel Benda of Czechia opening on 240 kilos, just 10 kilos below his squat PB, and has been competing for less than 1 year. And that was nice, easy weight. 2 to 1, a good lift. Gets a blue from the center referee. I think a similar issue we saw before, in that the bar moved so quick it kind of bounced on his back at the top. But I don't really think that counts as downwards movement, so I think he'll be okay. That's fairly strict. We now have Jacob Breckenridge of the United States opening on 250 kilos. Jacob's also been competing in less than 1 year. Wow, barely registered. Did well to keep balance at the top there, almost lost it there. 2 to 1, a good lift. Gets a blue from the right-hand side referee, I think for that very thing I was talking about. It just moves up so quickly, throws him off guard, I think. And his toes tip. But his foot doesn't move, so he'll be okay. Gayan Patni of India opening on 255 kilos. The second heaviest opener in the 120 pluses. A little bit of work on the way up, but manages to stand it up. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets called for depth from the left-hand side referee. Let's have a look at that in the replay. This is the side that he gets the depth call from. But I think he's safe with that. We now have Trevor Klein of the United States opening on 260 kilos. There's a little bit of work, but 3 white lights, a good lift. Perhaps shaking off some nerves there on his opener. 260 kilos for Reinhard Rebane of Estonia. Just 5 kilos below his squat PB currently. Three white lights, a good lift and moving well. We now have Nonso Chinye of Great Britain opening on his squat PB of 275 kilos. Moved up to the 120s, won the 105s in the sub-juniors last year, whilst breaking the deadlift record as well. And so fast, he loses balance at the top, unfortunately. So no lift, I'm afraid. Let's look at that again on the replay, because now it's the question of, do you retake the same weight, or do you need some more weight on that bar to slow you down? 280 kilos for Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain. Very new to the sport. Saw him at Nationals this year without a belt, and I'm pretty sure without knee sleeves. So a real raw talent here. And you can tell by the way he moves 280 kilos. 2-1, a good lift. Gets a depth call from the center referee, but the two side referees, who usually have a better view, say it was okay. And I think he'll be okay with that. And that concludes our opening attempt, with everybody but Nonso getting an opener in. But it looks like he has gone up 20 kilos to slow that bar down. The strength is clearly there. We move now to the second attempts. Jumping 15 kilos, we have Abel Shekarez of Hungary. Three white lights, a good lift. Naoto Uchi of Japan, 190 kilos. A 15 kilo jump from his opener. Squat PB is 207.5 kilos, so imagine this is more than capable for him. and still moving with considerable speed. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Romeo Fernandez of Mexico jumping 15 kilos to 217.5 for his second attempt. And that looked strong. 2 to 1, a good lift. Gets a blue from the center referee, and as I discussed before, that would be for the bar whip at the top of the squat. But I think he'll be safe from that. $227.5 kilos for Odysseus Markou of Greece, a 10 kilo jump from his opener. Guess the start command. And a little harder towards the top there, but manages to stand it up. 3 white lights, a good lift. You get a bit of a window into the idea of where his sticking point is there, though. 255 kilos for Pavel Benda of Czechia, a 15 kilo jump from his opener. That's a lovely looking second attempt. 2 to 1, a good lift. Again, the blue from the center referee I think is for the bar whip at the top. But I don't think we'll see any overturns for that account. $255 kilos for Jesse Maitinen of Finland. A 20 kilo jump from his opener to move him into squat silver from bronze, with Patni of India to follow. Still moving quickly for Jesse. 3 white lights, a good lift. Now Gayan Patni of India, 265 kilos for his second attempt, a 10 kilo jump from his opener. This is 15 kilos below his squat PB. Oh, and it's work. Seems like these spotters and loaders grabbed it a little bit early there, however, which we've seen them do a few times this week. Of course, their best interest is in the lifter, but they must grab the bar once they've begun to fail, not while they're fighting through. Has another try of that on his third. Trevor Klein of the United States, 267.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener.
So that is some sort of a stretch. So give it up for Trevor Klein, USA.
This would be a 5 kilo PB. And with competing less than a year, I'm sure he doesn't know where his limit is yet. Unfortunately, we may have found it there in a second. He has a third attempt, and I'm hoping he can push through that sticking point on it. We now have Reinhard Rebane of Estonia, 272.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump. Oh, and it's a fight, but he works through it really nicely. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets a blue call from the right-hand side for downwards movement. And I think the bar was fine. So I think he'll be okay there. 275 kilos for Jacob Breckenridge of the United States. A 25 kilo jump from his opener. His opener barely registered. And this is already matching his squat PB should he get this. Wow, extremely strong. 3 white lights, a good lift for Jacob. We have our penultimate second attempt. We have Nonso Chinye of Great Britain. Didn't get 275 on his opener just because it moved up so fast he lost balance. Jumped 20 kilos to his second, just 13 kilos below the world sub-junior squat record. Keeps balance this time round. And 3 white lights, a good lift. The risk pays off and he's on the board. We now have Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain, 307.5 kilos for a European sub-junior squat record on his second attempt. Wow, and still so much speed. Almost tips onto his toes, it's so fast. Ooh, unfortunately, 2-1 gets called on depth there from the center and side referee, and the coach goes over to the jury. Let's just look at that. And unfortunately, not overturned. That remains a no lift. And we move through to our third and final attempts. Abel Shekarez of Hungary, 180 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his second. Just waiting for the referees. 3 white lights, a good lift. Goes 3 for 3 on squats. Now to Uchi of Japan. Jumps 17.5 kilos to 207.5 for his third and final attempt to match his squat PB. Wow, fantastic final attempt from Uchi. And 3 white lights, a good lift. Just a reminder, we go straight through to the 120 plus juniors after finishing this flight of squats. Romeo Fernandez of Mexico now jumping to 225 kilos for his third and final attempt. And that looked nice and strong. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Odysseus Markou of Greece, 235 kilos for his third and final attempt. Oh, a good catch from the spotters and loaders. And Odysseus did great to stay with that bar, even without his hands there. Unfortunately, not there today for him. Pavel Benda of Czechia, 265 kilos. A 10 kilo jump from his second. Unfortunately, a no lift today. We now have Jesse Mietinen of Finland, 265 kilos. A 10 kilo jump from his second will be a PB for him should he get this. Wow, moves it with some speed still. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Coming up next from India, tries out 265 kilograms. The bar is now loaded.
We have Gayan Patni of India now. Missed 265 on his second, looking to reattempt it now on his third. Now I thought personally they took it a little bit early, but they maybe saw some downwards movement that I did not. Reattempting it now on his third, and hopefully he didn't empty the tank there on his second. Fights through it this time. Wow, a huge effort from Patni. Ooh, but unfortunately gets called for depth from all 3 referees. But did a fantastic job of getting that up. And unfortunately that is just too high. Sometimes it is harder to tell. As the athletes get bigger, so do their legs, and depth can conceal itself more so within that. Trevor Klein of the United States missed 267.5 on his second. Hit a sticking point he couldn't work through. Let's see if he can here on his third. Unfortunately, not quite there today for Trevor. We have 4 squats remaining before we head through to the next fight, which will be the 120 plus juniors.
So the bar is getting ready now for Reinhard Rebane. The bar is loaded.
We now have Reinhard Rebane of Estonia jumping 7.5 kilos to 280, and this will pull him into squat silver from bronze for the time being. A great fight from Reinhard. 3 white lights, a good lift. Jacob Breckenridge of the United States jumping 15 kilos to 290 for his third and final attempt to pull him to squat silver in the 120 sub-junior class. In squats. Has been competing less than a year. What an incredible talent. And a fantastic third attempt. Wow. 3 white lights, a good lift. Surprises himself, but no one here. He is so strong. We have Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain, missed 307.5 on depth on his second, retaking it now on his third, and it's worth noting he is 170 kilos in the lead overall. So I don't think he's risking anything here. An incredible talent here. And that looked way deeper and still so easy for him. 3 white lights, a good lift. And a fantastic effort from Joshua. We have one final squat in the sub-juniors before moving through to the juniors. $308.5 kilos on the bar for Nonso Chinye of Great Britain for a world sub-junior squat record. Storm Nonso is coming. And squats it easily. 2-1, a good lift, a new European and world sub-junior record. And what a fantastic show of squats we had there, with in both the 120 and 120 plus sub-juniors, the British athletes leading into bench. Don't go anywhere. We head straight into the junior 120 plus squats now. And some big numbers are going on this bar, with both Tamer and Sean opening on 360 kilos. The bar is now loaded for Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey, 225 kilos. Four red plates aside. And that was a lovely, easy opener. And that is a good lift. $277.5 kilos for Alex Marriott of Canada. This is his last year as a junior. Squats are up nice and strong. Just a little confusion there. He thought he got the rack command, but it was actually the squat command. 3 white lights, a good lift. $295 kilos for Nuti Mansukoski of Finland. Has a squat PB of 342.5 kilos. And that was lovely and easy for him. That's 3 white lights, a good lift. $300 kilos on the bar for Artem Yusuf of Czechia. Many of these juniors aging out this year. Artem is one of them. He has a squat PB of 320. That looked nice and easy for him. Ooh, unfortunately, 2-1 a no lift gets called on deck from both side referees. And it looks parallel. The coach goes to the jury, but is sent away. We now have Bjorn André Suterud Westerby of Norway opening on 320 kilos. As 3 white lights, a good lift. Bjorn has 1 year left in the juniors. We have 2 openers remaining, both on the same weight. And first out, we have Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia, 360 kilos. His squat PB is 403.5. And wow, moving really nicely. 3 white lights, a good lift. It's worth mentioning that the record is 427.5 kilos, held by Jesus Olivares from 2019. $360 kilos on the bar for Sean Koch of Switzerland. $27.5 kilos below his squat PB. That's nice and easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. And just like that, we conclude our opening attempts. This is a quick flight of lifters. There are 7 of them. And they are shifting the most weight anyone will be this championships. So it's a quick turnover for them. Let's hope it doesn't affect them negatively. Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey jumps 15 kilos to 240 for his second attempt. And that is a good lift. We now have Alex Marriott of Canada jumping to 295 kilos, 2.5 kilos above his squat PB. really deep squat, moving really quickly still. 3 white lights, a good lift.
He has failed in his first attempt. The bar is now ready.
300 kilos for Artem Usov of Czechia. Missed it on his opener for depth, retaking it now on his second. And that looked nice and easy still. And 3 white lights, a good lift. It's deep enough this time around and has a squat on the board.
And the bet will be he can do it. The bar is ready. He can do it as soon as he's
320 kilos for Nutiman Sukoski of Finland. A 25 kilo jump from his opener. And 22.5 kilos below his squat PB. There's a bit of work, but stands it up. And 3 white lights, a good lift. Bjorn Andres Sutterud Vesterby of Norway jumps 20 kilos to 340 for his second attempt. Just 20 kilos below his squat PB. 22 years old, has one more year in the juniors. And that looked good. 3 white lights, a good lift. Be a lonely session next year with 4 of the 7 lifters aging out. Our penultimate second attempt, we have Tema Samkaradze of Georgia, jumping 25 kilos to 385, projected in first place overall. 30 kilos ahead of Sean Koch. And that looked like a good second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift, and leaves him room to grow into his third attempt. $385 kilos remains on the bar for Sean Koch of Switzerland. This is just 2.5 kilos below his squat PB. 25 kilo jump from his opener. Is trying to catch up and match Tamar. And that is a good lift. Still moving well for Sean there.
Coming up next, Mehmet Ali Altuntaş from Turkey, going for 250 kilograms.
And that concludes our second round of squats. We move to the third round of squats before then having a 10-minute break prior to bench. With everybody having a squat on the board now. Can continue to grow and build from here. Mehmet Ali Altuntaş of Turkey jumps 10 kilos to 250 for his third and final attempt.
Mehmet Ali Altuntaş, Turkey.
A great fight. 3 white lights, a good lift, a really strong end to squats for Mehmet Ali.
Alex Marriott from Canada, heading for 205 kilograms. The bar is ready. Alex Marriott.
305 kilos for Alex Marriott of Canada. A 10 kilo jump from his second. And a big PB should he get this. Flying over the 300 kilo milestone. Paused it in the hole. And I thought that it didn't go down. I thought maybe that he was just preparing himself to stand up. But the spotters and loaders seemed to take it. The coach is talking to the jury about it, as I think he seems to agree. We'll see what happens there. We have Artem Usov of Czechia, 315 kilos. And it looks like Marriott will get another shot of that at the end of this flight, as the spotters and loaders did take it too early. And 3 white lines, a good lift.
And Alex Marriott from Canada will repeat the lift. Alex Marriott from Canada will repeat the lift. Of course, at the end of the round. The bar is loaded now from Wiki Mansukowski from Finland. That's 335 kilograms.
Nuji Manzukowski of Finland, 335 kilos for his third and final attempt. A 15 kilo jump from his second. A fantastic fight. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets a depth call from the right-hand side referee. And this is the angle that gets a white. Now have 360 kilos for Bjorn Andre Suterud Vesterberg of Norway. A 20 kilo jump from his second to match his squat PB. Already has squat bronze. to add 20 kilos more to his total. He's fighting for bronze overall. He looks around as he stands it up. It was that easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. And stays in bronze overall on body weight ahead of Mansukoski of Finland. Three squats remaining. The first of which we have Sean Koch of Switzerland, 392.5 kilos to move him into squat gold for the time being, with Sam Karadze to follow. A 7.5 kilo jump from his second. And it's a fight, but unfortunately just a little bit too heavy for Sean today, which opens up the gap for Sam Karadze. If Tamar Sam Karadze gets his next squat, he moves into bench with a significant lead. Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia, 395 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his second. Wow, a fantastic third attempt there from Tamar. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a strong end to his squat session, giving a really good shot heading into bench, as Sean has the heavier bench of the two, but Tamar has the bigger deadlift. And that puts 40 kilos ahead of them for the time being. We now have Alex Marriott of Canada, 305 kilos. The spotters just took it a little bit too early last time round, so re-attempting it now. He's not had long to recover, so let's hope he didn't use all of his energy. Wow, and it was lightning fast. 3 white lights, a good lift, and he moved it that fast just to show the spotters. See, I told you I had it. And that concludes our squat session, the final squats of the championships. In the sub-junior 120s, Nonso Chinye of Great Britain walks away with squat gold. With squat silver, we have Jacob Breckenridge of the United States, and squat bronze, Reinhard Rebane of Estonia. In the 120 plus, we have Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain in squat gold, Jesse Maitinen of Finland in silver, and Gayan Patni of India in bronze. We head into a 10-minute break now before bench press. Don't go anywhere, and we will see you soon.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
Hello and welcome back to the 2023 IPF World Classic Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. We have for you today the Sub-Junior 120s and 120 plus in the first flight, and in the second flight we have for you the 120 plus juniors. This will be our final bench press session of the championships. And kicking us off, we have Naoto Uchi of Japan with 90 kilos. That was nice and easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Romeo Fernandez of Mexico, 112.5 kilos. And that is a good lift. We now have Abel Skeres of Hungary, 112.5 kilos. Three white lights, a good lift. now have 120 kilos for Jesse Maitinen of Finland. Just 5 kilos below his bench press PB. And that was nice and snappy. 2-1, a good lift. Gets a call for elbow depth from the right hand side. So let's have a look at that right elbow. We have Gayan Patni of India, 122.5 kilos for his opening bench. Ooh, and the jury has overruled that, unfortunately, for a no lift for Jesse Maitinen of Finland on account of elbow depth. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift. Odysseus Markou of Greece opening on 137.5 kilos. 37.5 kilos above his bench press PB. Just 16 years old. And that looked really nice and strong. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Coming up next is Junior Breckenridge from the United States. The bar is loaded.
140 kilos for Jacob Breckenridge of the United States. 2.5 kilos below his bench press PB. Did fantastically well in his squats. Walking away with squat silver in the 120 class. And that also looks nice and easy. A good opener, 3 white lights, good lift.
Coming up next, weight for 135 kilograms. The bar was loaded, and his personal best is 130. Starting off strong, Reinhard Rebanen, Estonia.
We now have Reinhard Rubain of Estonia, 145 kilos. Just talking to the head spotter there about how he wants his handout given. That is a good lift. One 160 kilos for Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain. Lovely soft touch there from Josh. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now have Nonce Chinier of Great Britain, 167.5 kilos, opening 7.5 kilos above his bench press PB. And moved like an empty bar. 3 white lights, a good lift. Pavel Benda of Czechia opening on 180 kilos. Opening on his current bench press PB. And it's really easy there for Pavel. 3 white lights, a good lift. We now move on to our final opening attempt. Trevor Klein of the United States opening with 192.5 kilos. The world sub-junior record in the 120s is 208 kilos, held by Ivan Georgiev. And doing it close grip, it seems. Wow. Three white lights, a good lift. And that concludes our opening attempts with all lifters bar Mietinen of Finland getting an opening attempt in. We move to second attempts where Naoto Uchi of Japan jumps 15 kilos to 105. And 2 to 1, that's a good lift. Gets called for elbow depth from the right hand side referee.
Going for 117.5.
'Abel Shekarez of Hungary, 117.5 kilos. A 5 kilo jump from his opener. Now look good. 3 white lights, a good lift. $120 kilos for Romeo Fernandez of Mexico, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Ooh, a bit of a sticking point in the middle, but manages to fight it up. Ooh, unfortunately gets called for downwards movement from all 3 referees.
Coming up next from Finland, going for 120 kilograms. The bar is loaded.
Now have Jesse Maitonen of Finland, missed 120 on his opener on elbow depth, retaking it now on his second. And the strength is still there, still moving like an opener, but this time he gets 3 white lights, a good lift, and it can't be touched by the jury, as the jury need 1 red light to overturn a lift. We now have Gayan Patni of India, 130 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump. And there goes the beep for the 30-second timer. When it is work. And the head referee says rack as the bar had already gone down. That's a no lift, I'm afraid. We now have Odysseus Markou of Greece, 142.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his opener. Three white lights and a 5 kilo PB for Odysseus.
From United States, 145. The bar is loaded. Next will be Reban, followed by Lopez.
145 kilos for Jacob Breckenridge. A 5 kilo jump for Jacob. And a 2.5 kilo comp PB should he get this. And still looking nice and easy there. 3 white lights, a good lift for Jacob.
Now, Reban Reinhardt from Estonia, 152.1. Bar is loaded. New personal best here for the Estonian competitor. Next will be Goka, followed by Chini.
152.5 kilos for Reynard Rebane of Estonia. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Ooh, and it is a really difficult fight. Locks it out. Did the bar continue to go up? 2-1, a good lift. All bar one referees do think it was a good lift. It's a blue. Let's see if we can see any downwards movement. I don't think there was. I think he'll be okay with that. 167.5 kilos for Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain. That looks good. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Now, non-so Chini from Great Britain. The bar is loaded. 175 on the bar. Will reinforce our dash to
175 kilos on the bar for Nonso Chinier of Great Britain. A 7.5 kilo jump. And this would be a bench press PB for Nonso should he get this. And that was still nice and easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. And comfortably sitting in bench press bronze for the time being.
New personal best for this warrior 118. Barzone. Leg will decline, followed by the third series of a dance, starting with
We now have our penultimate second attempt. Pavel Bender of Czechia, 190 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his opener. Ooh, was really smooth up until the top there. Unfortunately, a no lift for Pavel.
United States, 200 on the bar. Barzone.
Yeah, his glutes came clear off the bench there, I think.
Ochi, followed by Fernandez.
200 kilos for Trevor Klein of the United States. Just 8 kilos below the World Sub-Junior bench record. The close grip king. Whoa, and what a fight. Look at that. Let's see if the bar went down at all. Yeah, unfortunately, the bar did go down and the fight was in vain. I think it's unlikely we'll see him take the record today,
Fernandez, followed by Sekesh.
but incredibly strong nonetheless. And still sitting in bench gold for the time being. We move through to third and final attempts now. Just a reminder, we have the 120 plus juniors straight afterwards. Naoto Uchi of Japan, 107.5 kilos, just 7.5 kilos below his bench press PB. And that looked like a nice third attempt there. Ooh, unfortunately, 2-1, a no lift. Gets called on elbow depth from both side referees. So let's take a look at that in the replay.
Then will be Olga Sekesh, followed by Baki. Barzone.
Yeah, and the jury don't seem to be overturning that, unfortunately. 120 kilos for Romeo Fernandez of Mexico. Missed this on his second, looking to reattempt it now on his third. Just 5 kilos below his bench press PB. Three white lights, a good lift.
Now we are waiting for Olga Sekesh from Hungary. 125 on the bar. New personal best of them. The bar is loaded. Next will be Baki, followed by Mietinen.
We now have Abel Shekarez of Hungary, 125 kilos. And it is a big fight. He does lock it out, but I think I saw the bar dip there. Yeah, unfortunately, a no lift. for Abel.
China Honey from India. 130 kilos on the bar. Bars loaded.
Yeah,
Next will
just
be
there,
Breckin, followed by Marco.
unfortunately. 130 kilos for Gayan Patni of India. Missed it on his second. Looking to retake it and get those extra 7.5 kilos now on his third. Currently sat in silver overall with Marku of Greece on his tail. And that looked much better. Let's see what the referees say. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Patni from India. Now we're welcoming Jesse Mietinen from Finland. 132.5. Bar is loaded. Near personal best attempt here. And next we're having Marco, followed by Breckin.
132.5 kilos for Jesse Mietinen of Finland. Missed his opener on elbow depth, got it on his second, and now has jumped 12.5 kilos for his third in an attempt to get bench press bronze. This will take bronze away from Patni of India. And let's see what the referees say this time round. 3 white lights, a good lift.
145 kilos on the bar. Bars loaded. Next will be Breckin, followed by Ngoka.
145 kilos for Odysseus Marku of Greece. Reynard Rebane of Estonia won't be coming out for his third. That looked like a nice last attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Moving here, 3 whites for Isaac Marco. Now Jacob Breckenridge from United States. 150. The bar is loaded. Next we'll be having Ngoka, followed by Cheney.
We now have Jacob Breckenridge of the United States jumping 5 kilos to 150 for his third and final bench. Really, really good final attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift, and it seems Jacob does not know the limits of his strength yet.
72.5. Next will be Cheney, followed by Benga. Bars loaded here for the British competitor.
We have just 4 benches remaining before heading through to the junior 120 pluses. Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain, 172.5 kilos, already has bench gold in the 120 pluses. This is to add 5 extra kilos to it and to his total. And still moving with considerable speed. 3 white lights, a good lift. And much like Jacob, I don't think he quite knows the limits of his strengths yet.
New personal best attack. Bars loaded. Next will be Benga, followed by Klein.
182.5 kilos for Nonso Chinye of Great Britain. 7.5 kilo jump from his second. Far exceeding his previous bench press PB. Should he get this. And it looked easy. 3 white lights, a good lift. And yet again, another sub-junior who does not know the limit of their strengths, and that is so exciting.
Loaded 190 here, new personal best today. Next will be Klein.
190 kilos for Pavel Benda of Czechia, missed 190 on his second, retaking it now on his third and final attempt to move into bench press silver, ahead of Nonso Chinye. And he locks it out. And 3 white lights, a good lift. He knocks Chinye down to bench press bronze and takes the silver for himself.
Personal record, he only retains the gold. Bar is loaded.
The bar is loaded for Trevor Klein of the United States, already in bench press gold with his opener, missed 200 kilos on his second, reattempting it now on his third and final attempt. A big milestone bench. And that looks worlds better. Far more control. 3 white lights, a good lift. And ends bench on 200 kilos with bench press gold. And that concludes our sub-junior session bench. We go straight through now to the 120 pluses junior benches. And the bar is being loaded for Mert Ali Alduntas of Turkey, 125 kilos. His first year in the juniors, 19 years old. The world junior bench record is 252.5 kilos.
Followed by Marriott.
And that bench press record also belongs to Jesus Olivares. Three white lights, a good lift.
West by the bar is loaded. 160 kilos on the bar for the Norwegian competitor with a personal best of
160 kilos for Bjorn Andre Sitterud Vesterberg of Norway. 20 kilos below his bench press PB. Now looks nice and easy. Three white lights, a good lift.
Now, Alex Marriott can have 177.5 kilos here. Barlow for the Canadian competitor with a personal best of 180.
We now have Alex Marriott of Canada, 177.5 kilos for his opening attempt. A little scrappy looking for an opener, but it is a good lift nonetheless. And hopefully something he can just fix up for his second. We now have Artem Usov of Czechia, 190 kilos. That looked nice and easy. 2-1, a no lift, unfortunately. Gets a yellow from the center and right-hand side referee.
Now we are waiting for Luti Mansukowski.
I'm wondering if he just skipped the command there on the re-rack,
Personal record of 200.
as there's no lift of any sorts there.
Next,
We have Nuti Mansukowski of Finland, 190 kilos. That looked nice and strong. 2-1, a good lift. Gets a yellow from the left-hand side referee.
Timur Samkaradze from Georgia, 210 here. Balance noted for the Georgian athlete with a personal
Yeah, it does
best
seem like there was some
125.
minuscule lifting there, but he may have kept contact, as the jury seem happy with it. We now have 210 kilos for Timur Samkaradze of Georgia. And that was a great looking opener. 3 white lights, a good lift. We have our final opening attempt now from Sean Koch of Switzerland. 220 kilos. 15 kilos below his bench press PB. And that moved really quickly. 3 white lights, a good lift. And that concludes our opening attempts. As I said before, the world junior bench record is 252.5 kilos, belonging to Jesus Olivares, and the open record is 291.5 kilos, belonging to Ilyas Bukhalem. Moving to second benches now. 135 kilos for Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey, a 10 kilo jump from his opener. Ooh, just hit a sticking point there, which he couldn't quite fight through. And unfortunately, that is a no lift. Luckily, he got his opener in, but has an opportunity of that again on his third. But if it's a strength issue, there's not much you can do to change that. $177.5 kilos for Bjorn Andre Sutterud Vesterby of Norway. A 17.5 kilo jump from his opener and just 2.5 kilos shy of his bench press PB. Three white lights, a good lift, still moving well.
Now Alex Marriott from Canada, 182.5. Bar is loaded for the Canadian competitor with a personal best of 187.5. Next we'll be having Uso
Alex Marriott of Canada, 182.5 kilos. A 5 kilo jump from his opener. It looked a little bit tricky on the opener. So let's see how 5 extra kilos affects him. And that looked good. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And that was a good lift from Alex Perry from Canada. Next we'll be welcoming Artem Kusov from Czech Republic, 190. Very slowly from the Czech Republic athlete. First attempt was
190 kilos for Artem Usov of Czechia.
Next will be Masukowski from
Missed it on his opener.
Karadze.
The weight was easy. Let's hope he can get it on his second. Listen out for commands. And that looked worlds better. And it was 3 white lights, a good lift.
90, 3 white lights. Bar loaded, 205 on the bar for Luti Masukowski from Finland. New personal best attempt here for the Finnish competitor.
205 kilos for Nuti Manskoski of Finland. 15 kilo jump from his opener to move him back into bench press bronze. Ahead of Yusov. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets a yellow from the right-hand side referee.
Masukowski. Now Temur Samparadze from Georgia, 225 on the bar. Meeting his personal best in the second attempt. The bar is loaded. Next will be Stan Georg, followed by Almutas.
We now have Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia, 225 kilos to move him into bench press gold for the time being, with Sean Koch to follow. Slowed down a little bit, but still looked good, and it was 3 white lights.
Samparadze, first place for now. Now Stan Georg from Switzerland, 232.5. Let's go, Sean. Next will be
232.5 kilos now for Sean Koch of Switzerland. A 12.5 kilo jump to move him back into bench press gold before heading through to the third attempt of bench. And it's moving well. 3 white lights, a good lift, and just 2.5 kilos below his bench press PB. We move through to the final benches of the championships. Just 7 benches remaining. Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey retaking 135 kilos after missing it on his second. He hit a sticking point and it suddenly dropped. So let's see if he can fight through it this time round. Fighting, but unfortunately hits the same sticking point and can't quite get through it today. We now have Bjorn Andre Suterud Vesterby of Norway, 182.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his second. a perfectly cooled last attempt there from Team Norway. 3 white lights, a good lift, and very well executed final bench press from Sutherud Vesterby.
Bart is loaded. Let's cheer him on for a new personal best attempt. Next will be Gustav, followed by Makukoski.
190 kilos for Alex Marriott of Canada. A 7.5 kilo jump from his second. Unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy for him today.
No recovery for Alex Marriott. Out for Gustav from the Czech Republic, 200 kilograms on the bar. Next will be Makukoski, followed by Samkaradze. Bart loaded.
200 kilos for Artem Usov of Czechia for his third and final bench. A fantastic final bench. And 3 white lights, a good lift. We have 3 benches remaining, the whole of the championships.
Bart is loaded.
And first up, we have Nuti Mansukoski of Finland, 212.5 kilos, already has bench press bronze, looking to add another 7.5 kilos to his total, fighting Sutherud Vesterby for bronze overall. He'll need 2.5 kilos extra in his total as he is the heavier of the two. So every kilo counts. Unfortunately, just a bit too much for him today, which means the gap widens heading into deadlift between Manzukowski and Sutherud Vesterby.
132.5. New personal best. Going here for first place in bench press. The bar is loaded.
232.5 kilos for Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia. 7.5 kilo jump and moves him into bench press gold with Sean Koch to follow. Unfortunately, just too heavy for Tamar today, so walks away with bench silver. Still going into deadlift with a considerable lead though. 37.5 kilo lead. 237.5 kilos for Sean Koch of Switzerland. Already has bench press gold. This is to add 5 extra kilos to his total. This will be a 2.5 kilo bench PB for him also. Our final bench press of the entire championships. Hits a sticking point. Unfortunately, he can't break through it, and that is a no lift for Sean, but still walks away with bench press gold. And that concludes bench press, not just in this session, but entirely for the championships, with just one session of deadlifts to go. Very quickly before we head into a 10-minute break before deadlifts, Sean Koch of Switzerland walks away with bench gold, Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia with bench silver, and Nuti Mansukoski of Finland in bench bronze. We'll have a 10-minute break now before the final deadlifts of the championships. Don't go anywhere.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute
To start the lift.
In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
Hello and welcome back for the final time at the 2023 IPF World Junior Powerlifting Championships here in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. I'm Emilia Potter. Thank you for staying with me all week long, and we are ending on a high with the 120 and 120 plus sub-juniors in the first flight, followed by the 120 plus juniors in the second flight. As you can see on there, we have 2 clear leaders in each weight classes. Nonso Chinye and Joshua Ngoka loading up the bar for the first deadlift, 170 kilos for Naoto Uchi of Japan. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift. And with each successful lift we see the athletes secure their total.
Next will be second held by Fernandez. Bar is loaded.
190 kilos for Jesse Mietinen of Finland. Just 2.5 kilos below his PB. And nice and easy. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Now up at second from Hungary, 195. Personal best of 220. Bar is loaded.
Bars loaded for Abel Shekares of Hungary, 195 kilos. Three white lights, a good lift, and it's well worth opening with something you feel super confident with and making a big jump afterwards to just secure that total, get it in the bag, just like that.
Next line followed by Botany.
Romeo Fernandez of Mexico now, 225 kilos for his opening attempt. And unfortunately gets called for downwards movement now, I think, at the top of the lift. Let's have a look at that in the replay.
27.5. The bar is loaded.
No, for hitching, I think that was for actually supporting of the legs. 227.5 kilos for Trevor Klein of the United States. And that is a good lift. It's worth mentioning as well that we have 2 record attempts in the openers coming up.
Bar is loaded for the Indian competitor with the 275 personal best. Next will be Marco, followed by
Now have Gayan Patni of India, 232.5 kilos. Three white lights, that is a good lift.
moving here for Gian Patni. Now Odysseus Martin from Greece, 240, already meeting his personal best here in the opener. Bar is loaded. Next will be Marco, followed by
240 kilos for Odysseus Markou of Greece, opening on his deadlift PB. Just 16 years old. Three white lights, a good lift.
from United States, 255. New personal best of 262.5. Barzoli. Next will be Benda, followed by Noka.
We now have Jacob Breckenridge of the United States, 255 kilos for his opening deadlift. That is a good lift.
Breckenridge. Now, Pavel Benda from Czech Republic, 280. Close to his personal best of 281, which shall be a record. Next, Gopa, followed by Levan. Bar is loaded.
We now have Pavel Benda of Czechia, 280 kilos for his first deadlift. That was nice and easy, just 1 kilo below his deadlift PB. Three white lights, a good lift.
Noka Joshua from Great Britain. 301 on the bar.
We now have Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain.
World Sub-Junior record, European deadlift total record.
And this is for a European deadlift and total record, as well as a World Sub-Junior deadlift record on his opening attempt, 301 kilos. And he's doing it beltless. Wow. And it was lightning fast. Three white lights, a good lift, and he can only go up from here. He's only 9 kilos away from the World Sub-Junior total record as well. And I feel like you're going to see a similar story from his teammate coming up soon. At first, we have Reynard Rebane of Estonia, 305 kilos for his opening deadlift. And that was nice and speedy. 3 white lights, a good lift. Gives a heart to the crowd. We now have Nonso Chinye of Great Britain. Broke the World Sub-Junior record last year in the 105s. Has moved up to the 120s and wants to claim it in another class. This is for the European and World Sub-Junior total record, as well as the deadlift record. On his opening deadlift. And disrespect it just like that. Absolutely incredible. 3 white lights, a good lift. And breaks, I've lost count of how many records in that one deadlift. And that concludes our opening attempts with records broken, as well as one lifter struggling to get an opener in. Still moved well, so he has a chance here in a second to reclaim it. But 2 record deadlifts already broken, and here is the subtotal as we head into second attempts. $190 kilos for Naoto Uchi of Japan, a 20 kilo jump from his opener. Just 5 kilos below his deadlift PB. Slows down a little bit, but locks it out. And 2-1, a good lift. Just gets a red from the right-hand side for insufficient lockout. $200 kilos for Jesse Mietanen of Finland. And this was sticky towards the top, but locks it out. Ooh, he unfortunately gets a no lift. Insufficient lockout from the center referee, and the 2 sides give him blues for assisting on the legs. It's unfortunate. I think he just accidentally knocked it and gave the illusion there, but has a third attempt to reattempt. Abel Shekarez of Hungary jumps 15 kilos to 210 for his second attempt. And still moving well. 3 white lights, a good lift. $235 kilos for Romeo Fernandez of Mexico. Just missed his opener. Had a little bit of trouble at lockout. It wasn't a strength issue. So it's gone up 10 kilos now. Now looks way better. Did he lock his chest out right at the end? He did. 3 white lights, a good lift. $242.5 kilos for Trevor Klein of the United States. 15 kilo jump from his opener. And a matched deadlift PB. Still moving steady. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Now we're into giant body from India, 247.5 on the bar, with a personal best of 275. Barty is loaded, next is Marco, followed by Breckenridge.
Gayan Patni of India, 247.5 kilos. 15 kilo jump from his opener. A little trouble near lockout, but manages to lock it out. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Next, Odysseus Marco from Greece, 250 on the bar, new personal best attempt. Bars loaded. Next will be Breckenridge, followed by Benda.
Now have Odysseus Markou of Greece, 250 kilos. Three white lights, that is a good lift.
Next, Jakob Breckenridge from United States of America, 275 on the bar, new personal best attempt here. Bars loaded. Next will be Benda, followed by Ngoma.
We now have Jacob Breckenridge of the United States, jumping 20 kilos to 275 for his second attempt. 5 red plates aside. A new milestone for Jacob should he get this. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets a red call from the right hand side for insufficient lockout.
300 kilograms on the bar. New personal best attempt. Bars loaded. Next we have Goka, followed by Rebat.
300 kilos for Pavel Benda of Czechia. A 20 kilo jump and a big milestone should he reach this. And he does it with ease.
Now Joshua Goka from Great Britain, 311. New record here, European record, world record in deadlift. Next will be Rebat, followed by Chini.
We now have Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain, already broke the European and World Sub-Junior deadlift record on his opener, and it was easy now to extend both of those and get the World Sub-Junior total record on his second attempt. 311 kilos for Joshua Ngoka. And still moving so fast. And 3 white lights, a good lift. He extends the European and the World Sub-Junior deadlift record, as well as the total record.
European record and world record in deadlifts. Next will be Chini, followed by 30 years of attempt, start with Ouchi. Bars loaded. New European record, new world record.
We now have Reynard Rebane of Estonia looking to take the deadlift record off of Nonso Chinye of Great Britain. 321 kilos, 16 kilo jump from his opener to take the deadlift record. Oh, and it is moving. Wow, did an incredible job to stay with that. Three white lights, a good lift, and he takes the deadlift record from Nonso Chinye. But we haven't seen Nonso come out for his second yet, which can only mean one thing. And you guessed it, Nonso Chinye of Great Britain didn't just want to chip it again by a kilo or 2 kilos, not even 3. He has jumped to 343 kilos for his second attempt. A 22.5 kilo jump from his opener. He wants, without a doubt, to walk away with that deadlift and total record with no fear of anybody else touching it, and getting this would absolutely do that. Nonso Chinye of Great Britain attempts 343 kilos. And it doesn't bother him whatsoever. 3 white lights, a good lift, and he couldn't care less because he has 1 lift to go. Extends the world sub-junior record to 834 kilos. And just to remind you, it began on 310.5 kilos. Sorry, it began on 790.5 kilos for the total. So has extended it to 834 already with a 3rd deadlift to go. And we move on to our 3rd and final attempts for the 120 and 120 plus sub-juniors. And Nonso has put in 360.5 kilos. But you will have to wait to get there. Naoto Uchi of Japan, 195 kilos for his 3rd and final attempt. And it's just a little bit too much today, unfortunately. It's a no lift. 200 kilos for Jesse Mietanen of Finland. Missed it on his 2nd, looking to get it now on his 3rd. Yeah, unfortunately, just bounced it up his legs to lock it out there, which is not allowed. 3 blues. We now have Abel Shekarez of Hungary, 222.5 kilos. Strong looking 3rd attempt. A good lift and a 2.5 kilo PB for Abel. Romeo Fernandez now of Mexico, 245 kilos. Missed it, missed 225 on his opener. It was not a strength issue, went up anyway, got 235 and has jumped another 10 kilos now to his 3rd and final attempt. And that was a good lift, a strong end to the day there.
From United States, 250 on the bar. New personal best attempt from the US athlete. Next will be Marco, followed by Patni. Bars will win.
250 kilos for Trevor Klein of the United States. Locks it out. Gets the down command. 2 to 1, a good lift, and that is a 7.5 kilo PB.
From Greece, 255 on the bar. New personal best for them. Third place in total, second place in deadlift for now. Bars will win.
255 kilos for Odysseus Marku of Greece. 5 kilo jump from his second. Already sat in deadlift silver and bronze overall. Nice strong end to the day. 3 white lights, a good lift. We've had an temp change come in. And Guyan Patni of India has dropped down to 257.5 kilos to pull him into deadlift silver ahead of Marku of Greece. Dropped it down from 265 kilos.
Bar is loaded.
257.5 kilos now for Guyan Patni of India to take deadlift silver in the 120 pluses. Wow, a huge fight. He's still pulling. Yeah, but unfortunately, even if he got that up, he would have been called for hitching, I'm afraid. So walks away with deadlift bronze.
85 here, 10 kilos more than his former personal best. And next we'll be having Benja followed by Ngoka.
Just 5 deadlifts remaining of the sub-junior championships before we move through to the 120 plus juniors. Jacob Breckenridge of the United States, 285 kilos. This won't change his position, but will be a big personal best for Jacob. A big fight. He continues to lock it out. I'm a little bit worried there. Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't quite finish the lift there. And got blues anyway, I'm afraid.
10 kilos more than his former personal best. Next will be Ngoka followed by Reban. The bar's cleaning now and will be ready soon. Bar's away.
310 kilos for Pavel Bender of Czechia. This will move him into silver place overall in the 120s for the time being, with Reynard to follow. Oh, and he does that with ease. 3 white lights, a good lift, and pulls into the silver position for the time being overall.
First into the sports in deadlift, aiming for a higher total here. Next will be the Don followed by G. We're ready now, Joshua Ngota.
320 kilos for Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain to further extend the deadlift record, the European and World Sub-Junior deadlift record, the total record, and for an 800 kilo total. And moved it like an opener. 3 white lights, a good lift. Extends the European and World Sub-Junior total and deadlift record. And ends on an 800 kilo total. That is insane. He ends with a 167.5 kilo lead. We now have Reynard Rebane of Estonia. 325 kilos, a 4 kilo jump from his second attempt. And this is to pull him back into silver overall in the 120s. Already has deadlift silver. This is for silver overall. And unfortunately, not quite there today for him. Which means Bender of Czechia walks away with silver. We have 1 deadlift remaining in the sub-junior flight.
He's going here for a deadlift European record and world European record.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is not just a heavy deadlift. This is the heaviest deadlift of the entire competition, regardless of the age, regardless of the weight. 360.5 kilos for Nonso Chinye of Great Britain to further extend the deadlift and total world record in the sub-juniors and to get the heaviest deadlift of the entire competition regardless of age or weight class. And it is moving. He locks it out. The referees say 3 white lights. And what an incredible effort from Nonso, ending on an 851.5 kilo total as a sub-junior. And you can see here Nonso Chinye walking away, world champion in the sub-junior 120 class. Pavel Bender in silver, Reynard Rebane in bronze, and in the 120 plus, Joshua Ngoka of Great Britain in gold, Gyan Patni of India in silver, and Odysseus Marku in bronze. Don't go anywhere. The sub-juniors have riled you up well for the final deadlift session of the competition. And we move straight through now to the junior 120 plus category. Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey, 275 kilos for his opening attempt. And just like that, secures his total. We now have Alex Marriott of Canada opening on 290 kilos. He's 15 kilos below his deadlift PB. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift. We now have Artem Usov of Czechia, 300 kilos for his opening attempt, 15 kilos below his deadlift PB. That's nice and speedy. 3 white lights, a good lift. Now the deadlift world junior record is 385.5 kilos, held by Tamar Samkaradze, and the world open deadlift record is held by Jesus Olivares at 410 kilos. Bjorn Andre Sutterud Vesterby of Norway, opening on 300 kilos. That was nice and quick, but unfortunately 2-1, a no lift, gets called for insufficient lockout from the center and side referee. Nuti Mansukoski of Finland, 305 kilos. 50 kilos below his deadlift PB. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift. These are heavy weights and the flight is moving quickly, with only 7 lifters in it. We now have Sean Koch of Switzerland, 315 kilos. I believe he raised his opener. And that was easy work for Sean. And 2-1, a good lift. Gets a red from the center referee. And he goes straight to the center referee to ask him from the man himself. But it remains a good lift. We have one final deadlift opener of the flight and of the championships. Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia, the current world junior deadlift record holder. 340 kilos, 45.5 kilos below his own record. And moving it with speed. 2-1, a good lift. Gets a blue from the center referee for downwards movement, I think, as he gets towards lockout. But I think he'll be okay. You just watch the replay there. It's as he locks out, he jars the bar somewhat, but I think he is safe with that. And we move through to our second round of deadlifts, with everybody bar Sutterud Vesterby getting a deadlift in. And it looks like Sean Koch of Switzerland has put in for no second attempt, but I think he's coming out for his third, just giving himself a bit more of a rest, which seems smart in this quick flight. 290 kilos for Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey. 15 kilo jump, nods. He said that was good. And it was. 3 white lights, a good lift. Sean doesn't put himself in much danger there by missing a lift. He gives himself more time to rest, and he can't really be caught by Manskowski or by Sutford Vesterby. Bjorn Andre Sutford Vesterby now of Norway, 300 kilos. Didn't get on his opener. Looking for it now on his second. Unfortunately, yeah, I was worried about that. Doesn't quite complete lockout. And that puts him in a really precarious situation heading into thirds, because he is fighting for that third place overall. And this could put him out of the race completely. I think there's just been a misload on the bar there. So just fixing that up very quickly for Alex Marriott of Canada, jumping 17.5 kilos to 307.5 for his second attempt. This pulls him into deadlift bronze for the time being. Stands it up nice and strong. 3 white lights, a good lift. $315 kilos for Artem Yusov of Czechia to pull himself into deadlift silver for the time being. And still moving really well for him. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a matched deadlift PB. We have 9 deadlifts left of the whole competition. Nuti Mansukoski of Finland jumps 30 kilos to 335. Currently sat in third place overall. This will pull him into deadlift silver for the time being. And that looked good. 3 white lights, a good lift, and pulls himself into deadlift silver. Our final second attempt, we have Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia jumping 20 kilos to 360. Just 25.5 kilos below his own World Junior deadlift record. And it's looking strong. 3 white lights, a good lift. And that pushes us through to our third attempt. And as suspected, Sean has put in for a third attempt. He just wanted a bit longer of a break. These are big men lifting big weights, and it's a quick turnaround. 300 kilos for Mert Ali Altuntas of Turkey. A big milestone lift. Locks it out, lets out a battle cry. And 2-1, a good lift.
Personal best that keeping himself in competition.
Now sitting in a very difficult position, we have Bjorn Andre Sutterud Vesterberg of Norway. Has not managed to convince the referees quite yet that he has locked the 300 kilos out, is attempting it for a third time now. It's a weight he is more than comfortable with. He just needs to convince them of the lockout. And I think that looks better this time round. 3 white lights, a good lift, and at the last hurdle he secures his total and saves himself.
Now, Alex Merritt from Canada, 317.5 on the bar. New personal best attempt and attempting here to get third place in the deadlifts with this one. Next will be Uso, followed by Koshin.
We now have Alex Marriott of Canada jumping 10 kilos to 317.5. This will pull him to deadlift bronze for the time being, with Usov and Koch to follow. Locks it out. 2-1, a good lift. Throws his hands to the sky. Just 4 deadlifts remaining. First of which we have Artem Usov of Czechia, 327.5 kilos, to pull him into deadlift bronze. Unfortunately, not quite there today for him. And we've had an attempt change come in. And I'm just watching the scoreboard to see who has changed. Sean Koch of Switzerland has moved down from 330 to 327.5. Just wants to secure deadlift bronze on his final pull. Already he's walking away with silver overall. He just wants that one extra medal to add to his collection. 327.5 kilos for Sean Koch of Switzerland to pull him into deadlift bronze, already secure with silver overall. And that extra rest seemed to do him well. 3 white lights, a good lift. Walks away with silver overall and a bronze deadlift medal. He's going to have one of each color, I think. He walks away with a silver squat, a gold bench, and a bronze deadlift medal, collecting them all. Our penultimate deadlift of the entire championships, Nuti Mansukoski of Finland, 362.5 kilos, a huge deadlift to pull him into deadlift gold for the time being. Already has bronze overall. This will take deadlift gold off of Tamar Samkaradze for the time being. And he is moving it. Can he lock it out? Oh, so close. He falls at the last hurdle. He still sits in third overall. He does not lose that, but he unfortunately does not take the gold deadlift from Tamar. And we just saw in the sub-juniors the heaviest deadlift so far of the competition made successfully. Here we will see, if made successful, that be taken away with a huge final deadlift to further his own World Junior deadlift record. We have Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia, 388 kilos on the bar to extend his own World Junior deadlift record by 2.5 kilos. The heaviest pull of the competition. The last pull of the competition. And it is moving. He locks it out. 3 white lights, a good lift. He extends his deadlift record to 388 kilos, ending on a total of 1,008 kilos. A huge end to the day, a massive end to the championships. And he walks away your 120 plus junior world champion. And what an end to the championships it has been. And in the 120 plus juniors, Tamar Samkaradze of Georgia walks away with gold, Sean Koch of Switzerland with silver, and Nuti Mansukoski of Finland with bronze. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with me all week. We head through to the medal ceremony now for the final time. Thank you for joining. See you then.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat.
Second comes United States of America, Jacob Breckenridge. And the gold heads for the Great Britain, North Virginia. Some serious lifting over there. It has been a great day. Moving on now to bench press. And the third place goes to Great Britain, North Virginia. Second is Pavel Benda, the Czech Republic. And the gold heads for the United States of America. It's Trevor Klein. Thank you very much. Checking out now the deadlift. The third place goes to the Czech Republic, Pavel Benda. Second comes Reinhard Rebane from Estonia. And the gold heads for Great Britain, North Virginia. That really was some great lifting. And moving on to turtles, the third place goes to Reinhard Rebane, Estonia. Second is Pavel Benda, the Czech Republic. And the gold goes to Great Britain, North Virginia. Let us all rise for Great Britain's national anthem.
Everybody up, please.
Great job, Great Britain, and North Virginia. What a great day has it been. Moving on now to plus 120 kilograms sub-juniors, and beginning with squats, the third place goes to India, Gyan Pagni. Second is Jesse Mietinen, Finland. And the gold heads for Great Britain, Joshua Nigeta. Thank you very much. Checking out the results now for bench press. The third place goes to Finland, Jesse Mietinen. Greece comes second, Odysseus Markou. And the gold heads for Great Britain, Joshua Ngoga. Coming up next. out the totals now. Third place goes to Greece. Odysseas Narkou. India had second with Gian Pavli. And the gold goes to Great Britain, Joshua Endoka. Let us all rise for Great Britain's national anthem. Putting up now the best results for 120 kilograms plus, and starting with juniors. Starting with the third place, Bjorn Andre Suterud from Norway. Second is Sean Koch from Switzerland. And the gold heads for Georgia, Temur Samparadze. Great lifting guys, moving on now to bench press. Third is Finland with Rudy Mansukowski. Temur Samparadze from Georgia goes second. And Shankov goes first. Thank you very much. Heading now for deadlift. Third is Shankov. Second is Rudy Mansukowski from Finland. And the gold heads for Georgia, Temur Samparadze. Checking out the totals now, and the third place goes to Rudy Mansukowski. Shankov is second. And the gold heads to Temur Samparadze, Georgia. Now let us all rise for Georgia's national anthem.